lot of people get very confused about the difference between a food allergy or an environmental allergy or what might be reactivity or sensitivity. What's your experience?
So allergies in general, the word allergy, really not an allergy. It's a sensitivity. Most allergies, usually allergies will cause some level of anaphylaxis. I think that our words are kind of messed up. I know that in my book, I do say the word allergy because that's how people recognize, but there is a distinction, and usually it's a sensitivity to something. And I think that's a good distinction to make in general. But when a dog has allergies, the immune system gets very confused and it gets hyper vigilant as well as overstimulated. And when it becomes chronically overstimulated, we get a chaotic immune system. And that can lead down the road, if it's not taken care of, it can lead to things like lymphoma or mast cell tumors or, really the intolerance to eat so many proteins. So we do need to look at that and kind of deconstruct it and help our dogs' bodies deal with things better. And usually I can trace most of these things back to antibiotic use.
Yeah, it's a huge problem. There are huge issues here, and I'm sure you've noticed it as well, just in terms of the overprescription of antibiotics, coupled with the fact that your average pet owner doesn't really understand what they could be doing or what they need to be doing in supporting the dog's gut, if they absolutely must be on antibiotics, what they can be doing to make sure that they're not absolutely destroying that poor dog's gut.
Absolutely. And I think that a lot of people, I think a lot of, like in my practice, a lot of people will tell me, well, he did antibiotics 3 years ago. And then, let's just say it was 2023. He did antibiotics in January. And, this didn't start until June. It's the antibiotics. And if we do absolutely nothing to a dog, first, their current microbiome before the antibiotics will never return. And if we do nothing, it takes 2 years alone, doing absolutely nothing, to help kind of level out and repair. Well, in those 2 years, a lot can happen to a dog being uncomfortable or developing food sensitivities, not digesting proteins well, and that's going to make the immune system hyper reactive, and also can cause things like leaky gut, or leaky gut can cause the sensitivities. I think the overabundance of antibiotic use is the main culprit in these types of sensitivities.
Yeah, it's huge.
Also, uh yeah, and also we need to look at, so when I see a dog with sensitivities and allergies, I always explain to people that this is the gut, but it's also the liver and the lymphatic system. And we need both of those systems online to heal. So I usually focus on that, because the liver, when the liver is when the liver isn't working correctly and it's stagnant, it's congested, it doesn't have the bandwidth in which to deal with the sensitivity. So you see dogs with like grass allergies and different sensitivities to pollen and stuff, and that is just a stagnant system. If the liver was working correctly, and it wasn't congested, it would be able to deal with those grasses and those trees and things like that. But when it's so stagnant, it gets, the sensitivities and allergies get more compounded.